All right, let me let everyone in, guys. We're now live on YouTube. All right, for those of you that are just joining us, I'm letting everyone in. We are now live on YouTube. This is our PM criminal docket. I will take quick announcements other than pleas. If anyone has a quick announcement other than a plea, I'll take that at this time. I'll start with Mr. Ricardo Flores.
Yes, Your Honor. We're scheduled for a plea, but have a problem.
Okay.
I checked at noon, but the Midland County Detention Center is holding my client in cases number 13 and 14 on your docket today.
Okay.
He's got a third DWI felony out of Midland, a resisting arrest out of Midland, and a failed to appear for something in Aransas County. So I don't know when we might be seeing him again for a while, but he's unavailable today.
Gotcha. So he was not a jail case, correct? He wasn't a jail case in this county?
He's out on bond.
He's out on bond. Okay, let me go ahead and do this. As opposed to taking out a NISI, I don't mind extending this out a month out, Mr. Flores, and setting it up on the 24th of March at 2 p.m. and see where we're at that point.
That's fine, Your Honor. Let's see where we are.
Yeah, we may not be any closer, but at least at that point, if we do need to take out a warrant, we could take out a warrant and then see if he gets brought over without, with the help of the county, I should say.
Yes, sir.
But for now, I will reset it to the 24th at 2 o'clock and we'll see where we're at that point.
Very well, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's all I've got.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
All right. Do we have any other announcements other than pleas? Because today I'm only doing one set of pleas because we need to wrap this up by 3. So I am taking announcements other than pleas. All right. Mr. Trevino, do you happen to have, is yours a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Who's your client?
Your Honor, my client is signed up as, I'll tell you right now, Judge, Mario Rodriguez, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you submit the paperwork on that one? Because it doesn't look like it was submitted, but maybe you did and it hasn't just made its way through.
I'm sure that if we received it, Your Honor, it should have been submitted. We received it. I apologize if there's been a delay on this. But I see here, I may have, Your Honor, I really am not clear on that, on having received the paperwork.
Judge, this one was going to be ADR'd.
So it's going to be like a bust down?
Well, it was going to be dismissed with a proof of clean UA and completion of an alcohol class.
There you go.
Okay. So not a plea then. Okay.
Just submit that the proof of those to me, Greg, and then we'll dismiss it administratively.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't clear on that, so I'm sorry about that, Rudy.
No worries.
Yeah,
Let me go ahead and give you April 5th at 9:30 in the morning for a status.
April 5th. Mr. Heller, can you send me a confirmation to that effect, April 5th, and see what I need so we can get this done?
I'm doing that right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good day, Rudy.
You and
Thank you,
Mr.
Judge.
Yes, you and Mr. Rodriguez are excused.
April, okay.
April 5th.
Thank you. Have a good one, Judge.
Thank you. You too.
That's all I have, so have you excused.
Yes, you're excused. You and your client are excused. Okay. Mr. Salinas, do you happen to have a plea today?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a plea.
All right. And your client's name?
Jesus Venegas, Judge.
All right. 26, no violation, DWI. Okay. And is Jesus Venegas? I see him there. Thank you, sir. Can you just unmute yourself real quick so I can make sure your microphone is working, sir?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to make sure that the microphone was working.
Do I mute it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No. Perfect. I know it's working. Thank you. And this will be a PTD placement, Mr. Salinas?
It is, Your Honor. Yes.
Right. Mr. Juan Alvarez, are you there? Mr. Juan Alvarez or Melissa Canales? What about all the announcements for, like, we need quite a number of lawyers.
Number 18, Judge Garcia,
18,
March 3rd. 20. 20 to 23.
right? March 1st?
March 3rd, I moved it.
Oh, you moved it? All right, Mr. Alvarez, can you hear me?
Judge, I'm in a hearing, Judge. Yeah, I need to reset. He has a felony case pending out of Webb County, and in this county, they're gonna give him 2 years. I need to talk to him to see if he's gonna take the deal. We can probably work out this case.
Let me go ahead and reset it for 2 weeks down the road. Let me give you March the 8th, 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you. For Jorge Barbosa, Sheriff, March the 8th. Jorge Barbosa, March the 8th at 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait just like 5 more minutes for your colleagues.
Okay. Mr. Salinas, hang tight. We're going to give the attorneys who've been contacted about 5 minutes to log on. They have asked us that they're on their way. So just hang tight. We'll be right with you with a plea because it might be maybe 2 pleas today. Should be quick.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramos, do you happen to have, is it Amanda Nino?
Yes, Your Honor.
1 second. Let me look for her on my docket. It's number 17 with a plea, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. All the paperwork has been set.
Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Mendoza, have you spoken to your lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe he mentioned being at another court case.
All right. Did you sign any paperwork?
Yes.
Okay. Hang tight, all right?
If you want to ask Yuri, Judge, if it's not, because I don't have it.
Yuri, do we happen to have Mr. Mendoza's plea paperwork?
It looks like it was e-filed on in January 31st. It's a PTD placement.
So Enrique Mendoza is a PTD placement?
Yes, Judge.
PTD placement. Okay. I'm sure I can get
Oh, I
either.
thought you were asking for David Morales. What were you asking?
Okay, yeah, so let's talk about Irvin Morales. Irvin is logged on. He's a public defender. Do we have any information on him, Yuri?
Irvin, 1 second, Judge. Let me check. By the way, Judge Alex said he's stuck in juvie court. He'll be here as soon as possible. I don't have any paperwork for him, Judge. I'm sure Alex has been or will be emailing me at some point about it.
Francisco will be logging on, Judge.
Okay. So for any of the jail cases, did we receive any plea paperwork?
Not that I can tell, Judge.
Jose Adrian Garcia, for example, from the public defender's office.
That one, Judge, I just sent him a rec for his the case on number 6.
On number 6, what about 4 and 5?
He has plea paperwork on number 4. I believe we're dismissing number 3 and with a plea to number 4, but I had to go back and verify with him.
Okay. But none of that has been done, so let me reset this one to Thursday. 2/24 at 2. So Sheriff Jose Adrian Garcia, I'm going to reset that one to Thursday. Reset 2/24/22 at 2. That's Jose Adrian Garcia.
The one with Luis Gabriel Zamora, Mr. Luis Garcia did not answer.
And was it reset to, Judge? So I can let Mr. Aguirre know.
Thursday. This Thursday. All right. Have you, do we still have a felony pending, felony MTR out of the 332nd for Luis Gabriel Zamora? Do we have that?
Yes, but there's no reason why.
All right, let me go ahead and give it a reset date for 2 weeks down the road. I'm going to go ahead and give that one March 8th, 2022 at 2 o'clock. So Luis Gabriel Zamora, Sheriff, that one is reset for March the 8th at 2 o'clock. He has got 2, 3, 4 cases.
Okay, thank you. The only one we have left is Calderon Leonzo.
Dismissal on that one has been filed.
So then we're done.
Yep, we're done.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Eloy, I just made an announcement on your case because I'm about to take up pleas and the sheriff needed to move on. So I reset your case, felony pending with no date to March the 8th at 2. If you need something sooner, please let me know.
Very well, Judge. I thought I had saw that it was already reset to March the 4th, earlier on Odyssey.
Oh,
So
perfect. The 8th is perfect then.
Yes,
Awesome.
that's perfect,
Okay.
Judge. All
All
right,
right,
thank
we'll
you.
see March 8th, no problem.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right. And the rest of them, I think, are pleas, I think. I don't have, is Vicente Gonzalez Jr. present? Vicente Gonzalez Jr. I don't think he's logged on. And Marcus Andrew Luna. Marcus Andrew Luna, not logged on. Okay, let's go back to Alex, if you can hear me. What is your announcement with respect to Irvin Morales? It shows plea, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a plea. Yuri, do you have any information on that?
Judge, I do not.
Irvin, have you signed any paperwork with Mr. Aguirre?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
I did give him, I have given Mr. Aguirre a rec for his defense.
Sorry, Judge, I'm finishing up in juvenile court. I'll be like 5 more minutes, I hope.
I want to get on. If I take care of this one, then you don't have anything else and you can take as long as you need so I can move on with my pleas.
Thank you, Judge.
So Irvin Morales, I'm going to give it a reset for maybe 2 weeks. He's not in jail, and if it does work itself out, I think 2 weeks would be enough time for you to meet with him and sign some paperwork up. Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, March the 8th, 2022 at 2 o'clock. Irvin, stay in contact with Mr. Aguirre, okay? We'll see you on March the 8th at 2
Okay.
o'clock.
Your Honor, we
Yes,
also
Your
had a Marcus Luna.
Didn't show up. He didn't appear.
I've been speaking with him all morning, Judge.
Motion for continuance.
I'd forwarded to the state I guess they want a proof of employment, clean UA, and
If it's okay with you, I'll give it the same day, March 8th at 2
Okay.
o'clock, and a motion for continuance is granted.
Judge, this one, I believe we've received everything we need to take care of it administratively.
Okay, so,
On
Are you
on Marcus Luna,
okay, so it'll be a dismissal?
it's going to be a dismissal.
All right, at the request of District Attorney's Office, the case against Marcus Lunas is hereby dismissed.
thank you, Judge. Sorry for being late, Judge.
No problem. Vicente Gonzalez, have you heard from him?
No, I have not, Judge. That one I have not. I called the number twice. No email address. We sent notice.
All
I
right,
have not seen or heard anything from them.
all right, what says the state on that?
Judge said, request judgment has to be granted, keep is issued in bonds for the state of Texas.
Judgment nice, will be granted, capious issue, bond forfeited to the state for the arrest of the defendant, Vicente Gonzalez Jr. Okay, so that takes care of our cases, and the rest of them are pleas.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, hold on. Julius Serna, any information for him?
He should also be logged in. I talked to him. I've been emailing him.
Not him?
He was getting an interlock device this afternoon. Actually, he's right here. He's on the iPhone.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so
He
that
did get
was-
an interlock restarted. Can you give me 1 second, Judge? Okay, sorry about that.
so Julius Serna, we're just gonna, do you need to give it more time? I mean, it
Yes,
says,
Judge, if I get that same, or a later date, actually. He does have that interlock device. It was installed this morning.
okay. So you
Reactivate.
need like an April setting?
If I could, Judge.
All right, let me give you April 5th at 9:30.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, April 5th, Mr. Serna, 9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You're excused. Okay, now, guys,
Sorry, Your Honor. May I be excused?
yes, you may be excused. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have a great day.
You too. All right, now let's get to the pleas, and we should be real quick. These are quick. We're going to start off with Mr. Martinez's Enrique Mendoza, his client, PTD placement,
That is correct, Judge.
followed by Amanda Nino. Is Amanda Nino present? Amanda, can I get your camera on and see if your microphone is working?
All right, yes, sir, I'm here.
Perfect. Thank you, Miss Nino. You're
Yes,
going to be
sir.
the second one to answer all my questions, so listen carefully. You'll be the second to answer, okay?
Yes, sir.
And then Jesus Venegas, you'll be the last one to answer all my questions, okay? So we'll start off with Mr. Mendoza, followed by Ms. Nino, and last, Mr. Venegas, in that order. If I can have all of you, please raise your right hand. Do each of you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I'm going to start with Enrique Mendoza,
Yes, Your Honor.
Amanda Nino,
Yes, Your Honor.
and Jesus Venegas.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Y'all may lower your hands. We're here in CR 19-04-674H, State of Texas versus Enrique Mendoza. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Correct.
Mr. Mendoza, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated with a BAC greater than a .15. That is a Class A misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor. In CR 21-08-11-1H, State of Texas versus Amanda Nino. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Nino, you're also here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated with a BAC greater than a .15, a Class A misdemeanor. Let me advise you, Ms. Nino, and you, Mr. Mendoza, that Class A misdemeanors carry a potential penalty of up to 1 year in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do you both understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class A misdemeanor, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Nino?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. In CR 21-03-225H, State of Texas versus Jesus Venegas. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Venegas, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. I need to advise you that a Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class B misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor.
All three of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury, but you can waive one or both of those rights by signing a document. Did each of you have an opportunity to review a document with your attorney before you signed it? I'll start with you, Mr. Mendoza.
I'm sorry.
Did you have an opportunity to review a document with your attorney before you signed it, the plea documents? Did you get a
Yes,
chance
sir.
to review them? Okay. How about you, Ms. Nino?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. Venegas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did each of you understand that when you signed that document, did you understand that you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Did you understand that, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Nino?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Venegas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court's going to go ahead and accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane, Mr. Mendoza?
No, sir.
Ms. Nino?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Venegas?
No, Your Honor.
Counsel, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent, able to assist? I'll start with Mr. Martinez.
Mr. Mendoza is competent, Judge.
Mr. Ramos?
Miss Nino is competent, Judge.
And Mr. Salinas?
Judge, Mr. Venegas is competent.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that all three defendants before the court, they're all mentally competent. They're all able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do you each understand that if the punishment that I assess, if that punishment does not exceed what is recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Do you understand that, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Nino?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Venegas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you further understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? You understand that, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Nino?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Venegas?
Yes, Your Honor.
At this time, Mr. Mendoza, I must ask you, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
How about you, Ms. Nino?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. Venegas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Enrique Mendoza, to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a BAC greater than a .15, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Ms. Nino, to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a BAC greater than a .15, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Venegas, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are all three of you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
Nino
Yes, Your Honor.
and Venegas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court's going to go ahead and accept your plea as being freely and voluntarily given. I'll call for state's evidence at this time.
Your Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports as State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 as State's 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's 4, and the PTD packets as State's 5 where applicable. We'd also request defense counsel stipulate the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and they further stipulate that all evidence that has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate the guilty plea.
All right, I'll start with Mr. Martinez.
No objection, Judge, and agree as to stipulation of venue.
Mr. Ramos
No objection, so stipulated, Judge.
and Mr. Salinas.
Same announcement from Mr. Venegas, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. There be no objection, state's exhibits are all hereby admitted. For Mr. Mendoza and Mr. Venegas, both of you all are asking to be placed on the pretrial diversion program. Is that correct, Mr. Mendoza?
That's correct.
And Mr. Venegas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. So the court in CR 19-04-674H is of the opinion that Mr. Mendoza has entered his plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. However, at this time, the court is going to suspend the finding of that guilt and place Mr. Mendoza on a pretrial diversion program. Same in CR 21-03-225H, Jesus Venegas. It is a judgment of the court that the defendant is guilty as charged. However, the court is going to suspend the finding of guilt and place him on the pretrial diversion program. For Mr. Mendoza and Mr. Venegas, either Mr. Martinez or Mr. Salinas, do either of y'all have any questions or requests? I know that with Mr. Venegas, since there were no violations, the court is going to go ahead and waive the fine and waive the court costs associated with the pretrial diversion because there was no violations while on the mobile device. For Mr. Mendoza, it does seem that there was a verbal admonishment that was given back in November. So, but is there any considerations or any modifications that we need to do to the pretrial diversion, waiver of condition G, anything of that sort? I'll start with Mr. Martinez.
Judge, Mr. Mendoza does reside in San Antonio. He does not reside in the Valley.
All right, let's wait.
And as per the admonishment that the court gave him in court, Judge, at that time he was having issues with his device. With the court asked him to go back to the company and find out what was going on with the device because he was hard getting the signal. Because the device is out of San Antonio, it's not a local place.
Okay, and there was no other issues after that, Victoria?
Let me confirm, Judge. But I don't think so.
While we wait on that confirmation, Mr. Salinas, anything to add or anything we need to discuss with respect to your client, Mr. Venegas?
I don't think so, Judge, but we want to thank you for waiving the fine and the court cost, Judge. We're
You're
grateful.
welcome. The court will set this up for a PTD status on February 21st, 2023 at 9:30. Then that applies for both Mr. Mendoza and Mr. Venegas. A 1-year PTD status, February 21st, 2023 at 9:30.
No other violations, Judge.
All right, let's go ahead and waive the fine and court costs and condition G for Mr. Mendoza, and for Mr. Venegas, it's just waiver of fine and court costs.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, that'll be the judgment of the court. We do need phone numbers from Mr. Mendoza.
Phone number 956-322-0115.
Thank you. You will be getting a call from our intake department in about 5 business days.
All righty.
All right, phone number from Mr. Venegas.
It's 956-563-7413.
I'm sorry, I could barely hear you. Can you please repeat it?
It's 956-563-7413.
Thank you. You will be getting a call from the intake department in about 5 business days.
All right, both Mr. Venegas, Mr. Mendoza, you and your respective attorneys are both dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, in CR 21-08-111H, State of Texas versus Amanda Nino, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
The recommendation is a $250 fine, court costs, 365 days, Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 10 months, alcohol education program, 180-day driver license suspension, 5 months of mobile alcohol monitoring, and a MAD impact panel.
All right, I'm showing no violations for Ms. Nino with the bond modification and the mobile device, so the court will waive the fine, waive the court costs. I'm gonna run the 180-day Texas driver license suspension. It's gonna run concurrent with the administrative suspension. The rest of the recommendation I will follow. Mr. Ramos, anything else?
No, Your Honor, and we're very appreciative for running the suspension concurrently and for the relief on the court costs, Judge.
Absolutely. This, Ms. Nino, this is just my way of giving you something back. I know that sometimes it could be a financial burden for you to have that mobile device. Clearly, we put on those mobile devices on so that we can try to protect the community. It's
Yes, sir.
hard to tell who is a danger and who is not, and it's hard to tell when we're just blanket looking at cases and we don't know the specifics behind every individual. But in situations like this, where clearly you were never a threat because you didn't pick up another violation, you didn't have any violations with a mobile device, that's a small way of us giving back to you to compensate you for the cost of the device. We know that those things are expensive, and we know that it was a burden, but hopefully this will allow you to put this behind you and
Yes,
move
sir.
forward. And again, that's the reason why the court has started to do that, in an effort to try to give back to some of the citizens of our county, understanding that throughout this whole process, we are just trying our very best to keep our streets safe and our community safe. And your family, my family, and all our families, we're just trying to keep us all safe. So in
Yes,
this
sir.
situation, clearly, you were not somebody that we should have been concerned with. And so the least we can do is, in this situation, we're probably looking at about $650, $700 in savings. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. We do need a phone number from you.
Yes, sir. It's 956-784-9079.
Thank you. You will be getting a call from our intake department in about 5 business days.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good day. Y'all are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You too as well.
That takes care of our docket.